Hi everybody, Loch Mullins here doing 31 Days of Tarot. Today's prompt are decks you want to work more with, and the truth of the matter is I don't know. Hi Fry. Everybody say hello to Philip J. Fry. Fry. Yeah, hi baby. Yeah, you're a good boy, huh? Yeah, you're a good boy. Okay, I am restarting my prompt because I had too much help from the kitty. I will probably leave about the first 30 seconds or so of that in because the cat was adorable. And just in case I don't, hi, this is Loch Mullins. I'm doing the 31 Days of Tarot tag. And today's prompt are decks that you want to work more with in 2018. I had originally said that I just didn't know. Does anybody else do this? Is this a hard one for you? Because I just do that organically. You know, I work with the deck for a while, and then it's like, oh, you know, I need this deck, and I go get that deck, and you know, lots of times I think, oh, you know, I haven't worked with this deck, and I really need to work with it more, and more often than not, sometimes it doesn't work for me. I don't do that. So anyway, but I was thinking about it, and I came up with a pretty big collection anyway of things that I really would like to work with. One is, because the last deck I worked with was a little one, so I want to get my hands on a nice, meaty, round deck. This is the Circle of Life, and it's beautiful. I have been an advocate for years and years and years of reading with round decks, and I would go on about it, but you know what? Veronica Jude, nobody says it more eloquently than Veronica Jude. But it's just amazing to me. I don't read with reversals, and that's a tag, so I'll save that. But I don't do that. And I haven't for years, but all of a sudden, you know, you have this infinite amount. It's not just up or down. It can be anywhere. And I got really fascinated with that and collected every round deck I could find. I have all of them except for one that actually should have been on my wish list yesterday, and it wasn't, but the New Earth Tarot. It's an Etsy deck. If you're interested at all in round decks, take a look at that one. It looks really, really cool. So it's the only, well, there are two round decks that I know of that I don't have, tarot decks. But the other one's an angel deck, and you know, it's okay if I don't end up with that one. So, okay, let's get on with it. That's one deck. I found myself thinking about this, missing old decks. Oh, look at that. Okay, I found myself missing a lot of older decks that I've had, and one of those decks is the Poets deck, and I love this deck. It's all pen and ink drawings, but there's an illustration on the front, and then there's a little poem on the back. And it's just, I haven't read on any kind of regular basis with this deck for a while. Here's the Ten of Sticks, which would be the Ten of Wands. And the back says, I am a tree, I am the forest. I say, outside time, there is no difference. So, how cool is that? So, yeah, I want to re-fall in love with this deck. It's one I'd like to work with again this year. The next one, I don't know how to pronounce. I have heard it called, you know what? Let's just put it this way. I know I've been saying it wrong, but it looks French to me. I call it the Cheminette deck. It's C-H-E, well, you know what? I'll put it up later. But this deck is beautiful, 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 and wow, it's just so deep. There are things that you could look at forever in this deck. And you know, usually I'm a big tarot nerd and I put things back in order when they're not in use. But this deck, I didn't realize this deck had fallen out of use for me. And so I never made that decision to go put it back in order before it ended up back on my shelf. So look at that Devil card. Look at that. Wow. It's so beautiful. And it's so deep. This might be, I think, a good deck for meditation. Okay, moving on. Don't get dizzy, everybody. I'm sorry. I'm working one-handed. Okay, the next deck, and I don't remember the name of this deck right off the hand. Is it Waking the Wild Spirit, or is that the name of the companion book? Anyway, Poppy Palin has a new deck coming out this year. This was her deck of the Wild Spirit. I'm pretty sure that's the name of the book, though. But look at that Blessed Union. Oh, it's so pretty. Okay. Let's move on here. She's got a deck coming out, and it's a more earthbound deck, I think. Probably is the best way to say it. So I'm looking forward to that. But I just thought it would be really cool and interesting for me. Look at that. I thought it would be interesting to kind of get back into this deck before her new deck comes out this year. That's one of the decks I have pre-ordered. And I wish I could remember the name of the new deck, and I can't. But her name is Poppy Palin. So, look at that. This is the cups. I know these backs would probably be too busy for some people, but I like them. I just like pretty backs, you know. Sometimes if they're plain, I like them. Sometimes if they're busy, I like them. None of that stuff really bothers me. And here is the Earth, which would be Pentacles. Okay. The next deck is one that everybody knows. It's the Deviant Moon, and this is my borderless edition, and you know, I think this is only the second time I've had it out of the box. So I think I need to grab it out and work with it. I have the other deck and the one with the borders, and I worked with it for a while. And I really liked it, and I decided I wanted to cut the borders off of it. But I didn't know, well, I didn't know what was going to happen with this deck and this wonderful human being, this very talented guy. But what happened was I kept my first deck, and I bought a second one to trim because I didn't know if it was going to go out of print and become worth more. So I bought the second deck, and before I could do anything with it, word came out that, oh, they're making a borderless one. So I never trimmed my second deck. And when the borderless one came out, I had still been using my very first deck. So I never... I took this out and took it out of the package and looked through it and thought it was beautiful, and then I put it back, and I haven't messed with the deck since then, and I'm ashamed of myself. So anyway, this is one I would like to delve back into this year. So the next one is one that everybody knows. It is the, oh my gosh, Green Witch. I was going to say the Green Woman. The Green Witch. And the whole reason that I really want to work with this is because I just kind of got too many decks at once. And I really liked this one, and I looked through it, and it was out on my table for a long time, but I never used it. I you know, all of a sudden I realized, wow, I haven't used that deck. Excuse me here. I'm going to take a drink. I'm drinking, by the way. It is probably somewhere between 9:30 and 10, and I'm having a Kahlua and cream. It's 9:30, 10 in the morning, and I'm already drinking. Actually, I'm not already drinking. It is probably around 10 in the morning, but I've been up since 10 last night, so this is actually my evening. So everybody knows this deck, but I've had it. I haven't worked with it. Shame on me. The last deck I want to talk about, and this is another deck. I don't know if my original one is worth anything, but I took a really good look at it and decided I wanted to work with it. So I got a second copy of it to trim, and then I put it away. And this has been, I have the original one, but I've had this one trimmed for probably more than a year, and I haven't worked with it. So it's like, why trim them and put them away? So this is the Karma. And there's some things that when this deck came out, I will look up the year and put it up there. But when this deck came out, I just fell in love with it. And my original deck, I used and gave readings with, and like I had friends that thought the deck was really cool, and they got some of them, and so there were a group of us all just in love with this deck. And then yeah, I kind of put it, I guess when we moved, I kind of put it away and really haven't messed with it since. So yeah, this year I think is about, for me, going back and using some decks that I haven't used, like some really good old friends that I really want to just delve back into. Oh, I didn't talk about this one, did I? Okay, one more. I thought that was the last one. One more real quick. Cosmic Tarot. This one, I think probably most of you know this deck, but it's a beautiful deck, and there's just all kinds of, it's like the more you look at it, the more there is to see. You know, look at the bird and the six-pointed star in her necklace, and the world, and the, you know, there's just, you can look at this deck, and there's a lot of sacred geometry in the deck, and a lot of esoteric things. And look at the Hierophant. Looks like he's got, is that a tarot card? I think he's got a tarot card. So just it's a really cool deck. And there are, let me see. I'm not going to be able to think of anybody. There are a lot of old actors in this deck. There's like, see, who is that, people? Somebody help me, please. But look at the Hermit. He's a yogi. And look at the, up into the star there. And I love his lamp sitting next to him. And he's, it's just beautiful. So anyway, there's like Elizabeth Taylor's in this deck, and Humphrey Bogart is in this deck, and Greta Garbo's in this deck, and the Devil's in this deck. It's a neat deck. And look, you know, there's a kid in the Sun card, but at least he's not on a horse trying to hold on to the horse. I was talking about all the old people in this deck, all the old-time movie actors. I'm not going to find any of them, are we? But, there you go. Ingrid Bergman. Every time I see this, she kind of looks like Isabella Rossellini to me, but I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be Ingrid Bergman. So just, how can you not love this deck? And who, the artist, oh my gosh, Loesch, somebody Loesch. I'm sorry. I'll look that up and have it written on the side too. But whoever it was, I look at these people they're very, I was going to say theatrical, but they're dancers. Look at that. All the poses are so beautiful and so dramatic, and they're dancers. And also, I love the way the colors are just kind of washed over. You know, if the background's all pink, there's like a wash over, so the people will be pink, or if the background's yellow, you know, there'll be a yellow wash over. Look at that guy. He is just too cool to be looking at his cups. It's not even like, you know, the Four of Cups sometimes is that, oh, here's some help for you that you haven't taken a look at, but there's help coming for you in a direction that you can't see it from, but he's too cool to even look at any of his cups. Oh, and you know what? This was not supposed to be a flip through. I'm sorry. These are the decks that I'm looking forward to working with, that I want to work more with, and most of them are old favorites that I just have not seen for a while. So it will be a lot of fun. So, anybody here a Dudist priest? If you are, you'll understand the Kahlua. I'm going to have another sip. So, I'm really looking forward to seeing the decks that everybody else is wanting to use this year. One of the things about me this year is I'm going to try very, very hard not to watch all your videos and say, oh, I love that deck, I'm going to go grab it, and oh, I love that deck, and I'm going to go grab it. I really am going to try and slow down and use a deck for a while before I put it away. Remember why I love that deck, or you know, get a feel for the deck. And I'm still going to watch Lisa from Tarot Alchemist. I'm still going to watch her. I'm not going to quit watching her, but she, for whatever reason, is one of those people that she gets me really excited about decks. And it could be just because everybody gets me excited about the decks that they talk about, but Lisa and I have several decks in common, and so that might be my thing, is I'll see Lisa talk about a deck and I go grab mine. And I think I've trimmed 2 decks because Lisa did. There was one deck, the Fairy Lights Tarot, that I had not used in several years, and Lisa had it out and trimmed it, and before I knew it, I had mine out and trimmed it. So anyway, that's too much of a ramble, isn't it? But I'm just loving this. Are you guys loving this? Watching everybody's videos, and it's such a good time. Ethany, thank you for doing this. I will be watching as many videos as I can, and I will get one done for tomorrow. Thank you all very much for watching, and lots of love to you all.